Tangal greetings everyone. We are the group 2 and I am Sus A. Talingting the third. We will discussing about our project, the mall employee scheduling system. So what it is? The mall employee scheduling system is a Java-based console application designed to help administrators efficiently manage employee work schedules across multiple days, shifts, and roles. This system automates the scheduling process, reducing errors and improving organization in a fast-paced retail environment. The next reporters will be discussing about how our system works.
Greetings everyone. I'm Raquim Eufem Acuña and I will be explaining a part of the code, specifically lines 6 to 10. Wait, this part. First, we declare the scanner class, which has already been imported right here. This will be used later to accept issues input. It is name scan so that it is easily identifiable when used in the program. Next is display this part of the code displays the header or title of our project, which is mall employee scheduling system. This part. Thank you, that's all, and goodbye.
Greetings, my name is Aaron James and Camu, and to begin with this program, the variable data types are declared and their values were initialized. Two types of array are utilized in this program, the 3D array and 1D array. Three 1D array variables are created with the same string data type that correspond to days, shift, and rows that were used to hold the value of employees' timetable schedule. 3D array are implemented to store the value of user input and use it to traverse the indices.
This part of program is responsible for setting up the number of employee slots per shift for each day of the week. First, the system displays a setup header to inform the user that they are about to configure the employees per shift. Next, the program uses a for loop that runs 6 times, which represents the 6 working days from Monday to Saturday. For each day, the system prints the day name in uppercase so the user knows which day they are currently configuring. Inside the loop, Inside that loop, there is another loop that runs 3 times, corresponding to the 3 shifts: morning, afternoon, and evening. For every shift, the system asks the user to enter how many employees are needed, while a loop, a while loop is used to validate the input, making sure that the user enters a valid positive number. If the input is invalid, the system displays an error message and asks again. Once a valid number is entered, the program creates an array with that size. This array represents the available employee slots for that specific day and shifts. This process repeats for all shifts and all days, ensuring that the schedule is properly initialized before assigning any employees. Overall, this setup section guarantees that the scheduling system is flexible, organized, and based on user-defined requirements.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to our deep dive into the Java employee scheduling system. Over the last couple of segments, we covered the program store employee data and manage shift information. So today, we're zeroing into line 47 to 58. The code that creates our main menu ensures user input is handled safely and smoothly. So let's start. First up, line 47 in choice equals 0. We're declaring an integer variable named choice and setting its starting value to 0. So now, you might wonder why initialize it to 0 instead of just declaring it. In Java, local variable must have a value before the use, and setting it to 0 ensure we avoid compilation errors later on. This variable will act as our traffic controller. It holds whatever number the user picked from the menu, so the program knows exactly which feature to run next. So next is line 48 to 54. It is the build the interactive menu interface, and this whole section is wrapped in a do-while loop that start line 48 with do. So let's break down each line here. In line 49, prints ln or /n employee scheduling system main menu. The new line character /n adds space above the header so it's easy to read, and the equal sign frame is to make stand out visually. In line 50, view employee schedule it, or let's user check existing shift assignment for any team member. In line 51, assign employees to shift, the core feature for building weekly or monthly rosters. In line 52, update schedule entry, handle change like swapping shift or adjusting start and end times. In line 53, add new role or shift type. Exit system with group 2 option, here to give the menu compact but clear. In line 54, prompts, it is enter choice, it short and direct so user know how exactly what to do. The do-while structure is key here. It means the menu will automatically reappear after every task is completed. So if a user views a schedule then want to assign as a shift next, they don't have to close and restart the program. It stay ready for their next action. So now look at the line 55 to 58. These are input safety net with a try-catch block. In line 55, start with a try, open curly bracket. This is the test zone where we attempt to read the user input. In line 56, choice equals scan dot next. In here we use the scanner object which we set up earlier in line 12 to read the input as a whole number and store it in our choice variable. In line 57, break if the input is a valid integer, the command exit the input check loop immediately, and we move on the execute the selected menu option, and this is the close curly bracket catch, open input mismatch exception, close parenthesis, and curly open bracket. This is where we handle mistakes. If the user type a letter, symbol, or decimal number instead of null number, Java throws an input mismatch exception, and this line catches the error before it can crash the program. While line 62-63 and our target range, they directly tied to this block. They print a clear error message and clear the invalid input from the scanner, so the user can try again without the program getting stuck in loop. So why is the specific block of code is so critical to the whole system? First, usability. The do-while loop creates a seamless experience. Imagine having to restart the program every time you wanted to do something new. For a scheduling tool that managers might use multiple times a day. This saves time and reduce frustration. Second, the reliability. The try-catch block turns potential crashes into teaching moments. Instead of the program just closing suddenly, it guides users to correct their input, which is especially important for people who might not is teach savvy but still need to manage stuff faster. In third, scalability. Right now, the menu has 5 options, but because we built it with clear structure, we could easily add more features like delete all schedule or export to Excel without rewriting the entire menu input handling code. In short, this is a code that connects the user to every other feature we built. It's the front door to the system. And then that's how the line 47 to 58 power our menu and keep it input safe and reliable. If you found this breakdown helpful, that's good.
Greetings everyone. My name is CJ Domingo. So this part of the code is used to display the employee schedule. When the user select choice equals 1, the program automatically prints the full schedule. First, it shows a header that say employee schedule. Then, the program uses the outer loop to go through each day like Monday, Tuesday, and so on. And it prints the day name. After that, inside each day, the middle loop runs through the different shift like morning, afternoon, or night shift. It prints the shift name so it's easy to identify. Then the inner loop checks each employee slot inside the shift. If the value is null, meaning nobody is assigned, it prints empty. But if there's an employee name stored, it prints the employee's name and counts it. Lastly, it adds the number of employees per shift to get the total employees scheduled for that day. So overall, this code organizes the schedule by day, shift, and assigned employees.
Greetings, my name is Johann Sebastian Perada. Now, I will explain the assign employee feature of the system. When the user selects option 2, the program begins by asking the user to select a day from Monday to Saturday. This uses input validation to ensure that the user enters a valid number within range. This prevents invalid array indexing. After selecting the day, the system asks the user to choose a shift, morning, afternoon, or evening. Again, input validation is applied to make sure the selection is valid. Once the day and shifts are selected, the system checks whether the shift still has available employee slots. It loops through the third dimension of the 3D array and looks for a null value. If no null value is found, it means the shift is already full and the assignment is not allowed. If there is an available slot, the user selects a specific slot number. The system ensures that the slot is within range and not already occupied. The user then enters the employee's name. Before storing the employee, the system performs a duplicate check. It loops through all shifts of the selected day and compares employee names to ensure that the same employee is not assigned multiple shifts in one day. This prevents scheduling conflicts and maintains data integrity in the system.
Greetings, I'm Christian Jacob Balisi. Today, I'll be explaining the role selection. So, this part of the code lets the user select a role and ensures the input is valid before continuing. It uses a do-while loop that keeps repeating until the correct choice is entered. Inside the loop, the program displays all roles from the role array using a for loop, numbering them from 1 for user convenience. It then asks for input and checks if it is an integer using #int to prevent errors. If the input is not a number, it clears the invalid input, sets check to false, and prints invalid role. If the input is a number, the program subtracts 1 to match the array index and check whether it is within the valid range of the array. If it is out of range, check becomes false and the loop repeats. Once a valid role is chosen, the program assigns the employee's name and select a role to the scheduled day, shift, and slot in the 3D array and prints a success message.
Here's the explanation specifically for lines 228 to 232. This section is part of the role selection validation when assigning an employee. It ensures that the user enters a valid role number. For the first line, it triggers when the user enters a number outside the valid range. The user enters non-integer input. Next line, after checking the input, if check is false, this line displays an error message, invalid role. This informs the user that their input was not accepted. For the last line, it repeats the whole role selection block until the input is valid, meaning it keeps looping while check is false and only exit the loop when check equals true. Overall, this prevents the program from accepting invalid menu choices and ensures the system remains stable and error-free.
Donal greetings, I am Kaibigan Jade Martin, the program tester for the group. I will be demonstrating the functionality of our mall employee scheduling system. To start, the system asks us to define the number of employee slots per shift. This fulfills the requirement for a JAG 3D array, allowing us to set different numbers of employees for different days or shifts rather than a fixed size. First, I'll select option 1 to view the schedule. As you can see, all slots are currently marked as empty. Now, let's assign an employee using option 2. I will assign an employee to Monday, morning shift. I'll enter the name Johann and select his role as security. The system confirms the assignment is successful. If we go back to option 1, we can see that Johann, security, is now stored in the 3D array and displayed in the correct slot. One of the strict requirements for this project is preventing duplicate assignments. If I try to assign Juan again on Monday, even if I try to put him in the afternoon shift, the system detects that he is already working that day. It displays the error employee already assigned on this day. This ensures no employee is double booked. Next, let's test the search feature. I'll select option 4 and type Juan. The system scans the array and correctly identifies that he is assigned to Monday morning. Finally, we can update or remove an assignment. Using option 3, I will select Monday morning and the specific slot. The system removes the data. Viewing the schedule one last time confirms that the slot has returned to empty. This concludes the simulation. We have successfully demonstrated the 3D array implementation, data validation, and the required menu-driven features. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Kaibigan, for demonstrating how our project works. So this project served as a functional simulation of real-world workforce management, highlighting the power of Java in solving practical problems through logical structure and user interaction. We hope our project system provides a clear understanding of how scheduling applications work behind the scenes and inspires further development into more advanced. And that's it. Thank you.